Hey guys, Touchdown Addict here, and today we're going to be going through the best free agent available for the Kansas City Chiefs. So we're going to be going through each position and deciding what player fits best for the Chiefs right now post draft. And that doesn't mean that we have to sign them or we should overpay them to get them or whatever. I just want to give you some players that I think are the best fits with the team, and I'll explain my reasoning why. And also, just another thing to note: I'm not going to be doing quarterbacks and then O and D liner combined. And yeah, let's hop into it. Position. Let's go through and let's look at the depth chart. So we got Noel Williams going to be starting left cornerback. And we got Mansour Delane starting right cornerback. Obviously, Delane just got picked up as the sixth overall pick this year. And Christian Fulton is a good backup to him. So that's going to be your three primary rotators. And then it's also important to note that Jaden Kennedy, our fourth round pick this year, I thought he was going to be playing this nickelback. But they have him at strong side linebacker. So I just think it's interesting. And then also, the nickelback is kind of like the person who guards like the slot receivers, and so that's gonna be Kader Kohu. He's a guy with free agent we signed from the Dolphins, and he was injured a lot last year. But yeah, with that, my pick is L'Jarius Sneed. I think that they should come back and they should sign L'Jarius Sneed. It would have to be for something cheap, obviously, but I think it's a great idea. Just looking at his stats, like he just played so well the last 3 years in Kansas City, and we've really missed him, honestly. I mean, McDuffie does a good job, but we still miss Snead. And then before he got traded to the Titans, he was a dog. He did have some legal stuff, but just like a couple days ago, the courts actually dropped the charges, at least criminally, so he might still have some civil stuff going on. But I believe you don't really get suspended for a lot of civil cases. It's mainly the criminal cases that you get suspended. So he also has a knee issue, pretty significant. But if the trainers check him out and they think he's good to go, I think this is the one of the players. I know I said like we shouldn't get every player. This is a player we should definitely grab. It's just because Snead, we need cornerback help. We need depth. Snead's been in the system. He knows the system. He was great in the system. So I'd love to have him back. We're going to be doing edge. It's so right now you're starting left edge is George Karlaftis, great. Ashton Jelati is a good backup. That kind of side is set. But for our right edge, we have Felix Enudike Uzama is starting. And I will say he had some flashes last year in training camp before he got injured and was out the whole season. So I actually do want to see what he does this year because, he's going into year 5. This is pretty much his last year to prove it, honestly. If he has a great year, I don't know if the Chiefs will sign him. Maybe they will. But our Mason Thomas is also going to be probably those two guys switching out for sacks. But the person I think we should bring in, the free agent, is Cameron Jordan. And so I just made a short on this, so maybe you might have seen it. But the guy does not miss games. He's missed 2 games, and I think it was the last 15 seasons. That's unheard of, genuinely. It's so impressive. And he's just a good fundamental player. Last year, 10.5 sacks last year. At age, I think he's 35, 36. And he had 10.5 sacks with the Saints, with one of the worst teams in the league last year. And I get it. They were only 1 pick ahead of the Chiefs, so they had about the same record as the Chiefs. But I think we can get him pretty cheap. And we should just go after him because we need edge help. That right side needs a veteran leader to take a majority of the snaps. And we don't have a guy like that on our team. And Cameron Jordan is the guy. I mean, he's 10.5 sacks at 35 is just crazy. He doesn't miss games. He'll be reliable for us. And that's why I think we should bring in Cameron Jordan. We have Chamari Connor, Jaden Hicks, and then Alohi Gilman was the free agent we signed from the Ravens. So those are going to be your main 3 guys. I'm honestly pretty surprised. I had such high hopes for Jaden Hicks, but it just looks like Chamari Connor's just better. And I'm pretty sure Aloy Gilman is going to be our Brian Cook replacement. And so, as you can see, we're not too deep on safety. I worry if we have an injury that like it's the play's really going to fall off. But the guy I have is Mike Edwards, and I know some people are not going to like this one, just because he didn't really play a lot last year. He barely got in, but I just think let's just get some depth. The people, or let's just get depth for someone who knows the system. And if we do have an injury, I think then go spend money on someone who's still available. But right now there's not a lot of safeties available, so maybe that's an argument to go get one right away. But I think just get Mike Evans. You could probably sign him to close to the league minimum, and just have him just in case, because 2023, the Super Bowl, the second Super Bowl against the 49ers, he was a sneaky good player for us. And I know it's been like, it's going to be 3 years since that, but I think he deserves to be on the team, and we need some depth, so I'd like to see him back. But I actually don't think we should sign anybody, and here is why. Um, Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, obviously two good starters for us. Nick Bolton is really great. I like Tranquil too. He actually makes a lot of plays. Jeffrey Bassa, fifth round pick from last year. I think he's gonna have a bigger role. Jack Conklin, he hopefully will never play because Nick Bolton's in there a lot. Or, like he doesn't. Hopefully, he won't play a lot. But Cole Christensen, I've actually heard a lot of good things about him, like taking over the Leo Chenal role, and they're a guy that the Chiefs really like. And so maybe I'll make a short on that. But also, this Wesley Bissa, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he is an undrafted free agent from the University of Miami, and if you turn on the tape, he is a dog. Like he's actually, I'm really surprised he went undrafted. I saw some things like, oh, you need to go check him out, but yeah, he's a really fantastic player. So I think he makes the team. Cam Arnold will probably, I don't know. It's hard to say who will make the team at this point, but I actually think he has a good chance. And so I think that we're set at linebacker. Next year we might have to go up and pay for someone, but I think for right now we're all right. G. Rice, Xavier Worthy, Taekwon Thornton. They're going to be your starting three receivers. Taekwon Thornton is a dog, and I'm not even just saying this. I really believe in him. I believe he was the best wide receiver for us last year, maybe besides Rice, but Rice came in late. He's got his snaps decreased as the time went on because Rice came back, and I'm like, he's the one making plays out there. He was the one throwing it way more than Worthy, and I like Worthy. I think we got to give Worthy some more time because of the injury last year. But Taekwon Thornton will be a dog this year, and that's you on like seriously. I really believe that. Jalen Royals, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Cyrus Allen, I like to pick up. Nico Remijo, he's really just a punt returner. But the person I'd like to bring in, veteran, cheap, I think he'll be relatively cheap, is Keenan Allen. And I know he's been with the Chargers for pretty much his whole career, but I don't know if he'll want to come to the Chiefs, one of his arch rivals. But I think he could just be a really good, solid, just like 500 yards receiver. Like last year, he had 777 for the Chargers. He was just making plays, He was just a safety blanket for Justin Herbert. And I think that's really valuable, and we're missing a veteran presence. And someone like Keenan Allen, he was, all these seasons, 1,000 yards. He knows what it's like to be at the top. He's a professional. I think it's more of a question, does he want to come to the Kansas City Chiefs, which is kind of one of his rivals with the Chargers. But, he's a free agent right now. I think the Chiefs I really want to see them sign another receiver, a cheap guy. And I think Keenan Allen is that guy for them. And like I said, I don't know if it want to be a Chief, but I think we would welcome him. And yeah, so I got Keenan Allen for receiver. Kenneth Walker, RB1, and Emmett Johnson, RB2, Amari DeMarcado, RB3, and Brashard Smith, RB4. And so, honestly, the room is just so much different than last year. Um, and way better. Really exciting to see what they all can do. But I think someone we should consider getting is actually bringing Kareem Hunt back. And so I know what people are going to say. Can't really rush that well, and that's a great argument. My argument is before last year, we really struggled on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1 because we would refuse to run the tush push or just a QB sneak. I really think we should implement a QB sneak with Justin Fields. Um, but yeah, we really struggled with that. And what happened in 2025? Kareem Hunt was a dog. You knew if they were handing him the ball, they were getting the first down. Like he has a special talent for getting that first down. I've seen a lot of the different running backs try it. I've never seen anyone as good as Kareem Hunt as just falling forward and getting the first. I think that's super valuable, and that's something we're really going to miss. So I think we should take a chance. Let's bring him back. I know it's hard because you have a bunch of, do you really want to have him just for that? That's something the coaching staff will have to work out, but I think we will miss having that if he's gone. Got one of the greatest of all time, Travis Kelsey. Noah Gray, really solid backup. Last year he kind of fell off a little bit, but I feel like 2024 he was like, wow, could he take over Kelsey's position? And so we'll have to see on him. I think he has a bounce back year. Jared Wiley, really haven't seen too much out of him. So the person I think we should pick up at tight end is someone who is more of a blocking tight end. That's what we need. Travis Kelsey, Noah Gray, they're great route runners catching the ball. We need someone who can block. And especially with Kenneth Walker, if you think that's in Seattle, that's kind of the new offense. Is load it up, run the ball, play action. I don't think the Chiefs will adopt to it I don't think they'll fully adopt, but they need to get a blocking tight end. And so I have another Charger, Will Disley here. See, as you can see, he actually had in 2024 481 yards, but with Gazdin there, he kind of took all the receiving work, and that's fine because Will Disley is going to be more if you're just blocking tight end. And so, yeah, pretty simple one. I think we have our receiving tight ends. Let's go get a guy who can block. He's a great blocker, Will Disley. Left tackle, Josh Simmons. Um, I was surprised people are down on him after last year a little bit, like what I've seen in the media. But I'm really happy with how he played. He was only a rookie, and I bet he's gonna. I think he's gonna just have a really good year. I'm really excited to see what he can do. I wanted Josh Simmons so bad the 24 draft. I sat and wait because we were picked 32 the whole time. I'm like, I heard Josh Connerly at pick 29 to the Commanders, and I thought he left. And I couldn't believe he was still there. That was one of the happiest I've ever been during the draft. But we got Kingsley Sumatia, honestly really coming to his own as a guard. I'm happy with him. And Creed Humphrey, center, obviously, all pro. Trey Smith, Pro Bowler guard. Jalen Moore at right tackle. I think, that's your weak spot. But if Jalen Moore's your weak spot, you're in a fine spot on the offensive line. Sure, if there's an injury, that could be pretty devastating. But my guy, Esapole, he's a dog. He came in last year. He was undrafted. I'm pretty sure he's an undrafted free agent. So I think he deserves to be on the team, and I think he'll be the swing tackle. Maybe Wanye Morris could be the swing tackle. But I want to bring in Conklin. So Josh Conklin was a first-round pick from Tennessee, and he's actually had 2 All-Pro seasons. He's gotten older. His play has dropped off. But I think for what you need is you just need a backup tackle in case something goes wrong. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but, injuries happen in football. And Jack Conklin could just be a safety net where, he's not the best, but he knows how to play at the best. He was an All-Pro. And so, yeah, I like Jack Conklin. So let's just sign him to a pretty cheap deal, and just if something happens, he can play in a pinch.